Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is the live game review to our unbelievable, shocking in some ways 3-2 victory over Watford last Saturday at Vicarage Road. Of course, Everton coming from 2 goals behind for the first time in the Premier League since September 2015. Never managed to come from even a goal behind under previous manager Marco Silva to win a game in the Premier League. However, Carlo Ancelotti's only been in charge a matter of months and we've managed to come from 2 behind and a sending off to beat Watford by 3-2. A result that we all knew we needed before the game. We all sat here in the preview and we all said about how important this game was to go out and get 3 points. And, you know, half an hour into it, 25 minutes into it, it looked like the last thing we were going to get on Saturday was 3 points. However, big Yerry Mina stepped up in the last minute or so of the first half, and then Theo Walcott, despite having not his best game of football for Everton, doesn't really matter because he stepped up and he got the winner in the last seconds. 10-men Everton beating Watford by 3-2. And what was like I said in the instant match reaction, which upset a few people, it wasn't the best game of football we've ever watched, was it? Let's not kid ourselves. Let's not, we're allowed to be excited, we're allowed to be ecstatic, but we don't have to sort of throw out our thought, throw out the way of our thoughts of the game bit, before the winner. We weren't brilliant, were we, on Saturday? It was quite a poor performance from Everton, certainly in that first sort of 25 minutes, but the fight and the battle and the character we showed to not only get back into the game before, the first half, end of the first half, before the second half, but also to get the win in the last seconds of it, after having, a man sent off, 10 men away from home, coming from 2 goals behind to make it 2-2. Usually you'd think probably going to settle for a draw here. Obviously, we've seen Carlo Ancelotti bring Michael Keane on and Mason Holgate pushed up into midfield. Now, some people may have seen that as a defensive substitution to bring on, another centre-half. You could also see it as maybe even an attacking substitution to push Mason Holgate a little bit further up the pitch because, let's be honest, he's a better centre midfielder than either of the 2 centre midfielders we had on the pitch for the rest of the game. But regardless, like I said, 2 goals behind, coming back to 2-2, 10 men away from home. Last 10 minutes, you're sort of thinking, you know what, maybe we'll just hold on for a draw here. But the lads never gave up. And that's that mentality that we want to see. That never stop fighting, never stop going for it, never give up mentality. We seen literally a couple of weeks ago, Newcastle have the exact same mentality at Goodison Park, where they were 2-0 down, going into the injury time, last sort of minute and a half of the game, and they pull it back and they end up getting a well needed point for their football club. They've done it the week before against Chelsea, and we were speaking after that Newcastle game about how we never see anything like that go Everton's way, how it's always against Everton and how nothing ever goes for Everton. Little do we know, a couple of weeks later we were going to see the situation, very similar situation to that Newcastle one, but actually going for Everton this time, scoring the last minute winner. When do you ever see Everton coming back from 2 goals behind? Firstly, let's just start away from home. Winning away from home is a massive achievement for Everton Football Club, as it is anyway. Coming from behind, whether it be 1 goal, 2 goals, 3 goals to win, that's a massive achievement for Everton Football Club. Winning with 10 men, that's a massive achievement. And scoring a goal in the last 30 seconds of a game to win it, it's just never heard of. It's unheard of. To combine all of those together and think that they happened on the same afternoon it's quite mad, really. And like I said in the instant match reaction, I was preparing to sit down and talk, about the game and talk about how I wasn't really happy with the performance and how we need to be a lot better and how there's certain players in the team that just aren't good enough. But your initial thoughts and your reaction sort of gets thrown out the way, really, when you win the game in the last 30 seconds and you're sort of just sitting there going, right, okay, happy days, we got the 3 points. And that is exactly what it is. We massively needed that win on Saturday. It puts us in a fantastic position. As you can see by the title of this live stream, I've titled it Europa League Now, Real Possibility. And it is a real possibility. It really is, because we're sitting 9th in the Premier League now. We're right up there with Tottenham, we're right up there with Arsenal, Manchester United. We only have to win a couple of games. We've got Crystal Palace on Saturday at 12:30. We only have to win our next couple of games, and those teams that are in and around us drop points. Obviously Tottenham got a big win yesterday against Manchester City, but we've seen Tottenham notoriously this season, even when Jose Mourinho's come in, we've seen them drop points in games that you'd expect them to win. Similar with Chelsea. We've seen Chelsea drop points. Manchester United are dropping points every single week. Arsenal are dropping points. Arsenal can't seem to pick up any points. So the teams that are around us genuinely all, obviously you've got the likes of your Wolves and your Sheffield United as well, who potentially we might, maybe we should be looking at a little bit closely than the Uniteds and Chelseas and Tottenhams, but I don't see why we wouldn't be looking at your Tottenham, your Man United, your Wolves, your Chelsea, because those are teams that are in and around us. We're literally, I think, a couple of wins away from being right up there, not just within the top 7, not just within the top 6, but right up there in the top 5, pushing for that Champions League place, which, don't get me wrong, I don't think we're going to get, and I don't think we're going to manage to be, finish in the top 4 this season, because it's a massive, massive ask, but I definitely think we can be a part of that group of teams that are fighting for it. I definitely think we can be part of that group of teams that are fighting for it, and you know what? If anything is to show that we've got the character now to do it, it was that result and it was that game. Like I said, against all the odds, 2-0 down, 20 minutes in. I think pretty much every Evertonian at that point, when we conceded that second goal, felt, you know what, this game's done and dusted, it's over, no point in, we're not getting back into it. And all of a sudden, literally, within the space of a minute and a half, Yerry Mina's put 2 goals in the back of the net. Yerry Mina's only scored 1 goal for Everton before Saturday. He puts 2 in the back of the net, he's on an hat-trick, and then, next minute, come out into the second half, we start to look good, we come out the better team, we're creating more opportunities. Fabian Delph gets himself sent off stupidly, which we'll talk about in a second. And you're sort of thinking at that point, right, okay, away from home, like I said, come back from 2-0 down to make it 2-0. We've got 10 men. We'll probably just hold out for a point here, but they don't. The players carry on going. Richarlison's making last-minute darts to get up the line to put the ball across, and it's a really, really good finish from quite a tight angle, to be fair, by Theo Walcott, despite the fact I think he had a poor game prior to that. But it's fantastic, innit? We've won the game of football at the end of the day, and like I said, I was waking up Sunday morning and I was thinking, oh, Everton fucking won this weekend. Everton won, and then all of a sudden, really, really weird, you're watching the games on Sunday and you're watching Arsenal and Burnley and you're thinking, right, we need a draw out of this game because we need Arsenal to drop points. They do. And you're watching Tottenham and Manchester City and you're rooting for Manchester City to win, and I think it'll be the first time this season a lot of Evertonians have been rooting for Manchester City to win for a different reason than to challenge Liverpool, because I think we've all sort of conceded that they're not going to get anywhere near the title this season, Manchester City, because they've just lost far too many games. But I was sitting there wanting Manchester City to actively win because I knew how close we were to Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham had dropped points yesterday, and then we'd have gone and beat Crystal Palace on Saturday, and they'd have dropped points on Saturday as well. We'd have been above Tottenham. Now, we are fighting with Spurs, we're fighting with, Arsenal, we're fighting with Manchester United, maybe Chelsea's a step up, we're fighting with, Wolves, Sheffield United as well. So it's incredible to think about what Carlo Ancelotti has done in such a short period of time, really. We're second overall in the form table, I believe, only behind Liverpool, which obviously, was going to happen because they haven't dropped a point since Carlo Ancelotti's come in. But we're second overall in the form table since Carlo Ancelotti's come in. We've had a whole list of wins, and when you look at Carlo Ancelotti's reign so far as Everton manager, you don't even. It's not like every single game that we've either got a draw out of or, obviously every game that we've won. But even the games that we've drawn, it's not like you sit there and you go, right, okay, I expected that draw, or probably, the right result to get that draw. You look at the game against, Newcastle, we should have won. That would have been another 3 points to propel us further. We'd have been sitting in that Tuesday night in 8th position after that 3 points. If then we'd have got the 3 points again, on Saturday, we'd have been even further up to the table. Even the game against West Ham, where we had opportunities, we could have utilised the opportunities a little bit better, but we didn't. Like I said, we've done fantastically well so far under Carlo Ancelotti, and he's changed this team around magnificently, considering I think we all know deep down the level of players in this squad and in this team just isn't good enough. Even the games that we've drawn, even the games that we've lost, a couple of them you look at and you think we could have got more out of that. We could have done better, yet we're still sitting second in the form table since Carlo Ancelotti's come in as Everton manager. He's done a fantastic job so far, and like I said, it wasn't the greatest game, to be perfectly honest with you, on Saturday, and it wasn't the greatest performance either by Everton, but I don't really care. We went out and we got the 3 points because I'm bored and I'm sick of watching Everton go out and put fantastic performances in like we did against Newcastle a week before and not come away with anything, because yes, okay, we come away with a point, but that game felt like a defeat because it was arguably our best performance all season and we threw it away within the last 30 seconds. So it's about time that we put in quite a shocking performance and still come away with the 3 points. How many games have you seen, the best sides in world football over the years where they've just been absolutely shocking but they've still managed to find a way to win? That is the sign of a real winning team. No team goes out there and performs 10 out of 10 every week, the sign of winners, the sign of, you know, champions is a team that can go out there, and even when they're playing, you know, poorly, even when they're not on the best of, you know, days, they still go out and they still get the win. And I feel like that's what it was for Everton on Saturday, and it was a big performance, and it was a big result, sorry, despite the fact that it wasn't a fantastic performance. Having said that, you know, before I dive into the live comments, there were some outstanding performances from players in an Everton shirt, no more than I think Mason Holgate. Once again, Mason Holgate as probably arguably being man of the match for Everton Football Club in another game running. Yes, okay, you can say Yerry Mina because he scored the 2 goals, and defensively, you know, he done well as well. But Mason Holgate again, what a performance by Mason Holgate. I was actually thinking today, and I didn't get the time in work to check it, but as Mason Holgate, am I right in saying that Mason Holgate's played every single minute under Carlo Ancelotti? Somebody double check that if you can while you've got, you know, a spare minute. Like I said, I was going to check it in work today, but I didn't really get time, and I had to go to the doctors after work, so I didn't get time to check it. But I'm pretty sure he's played every minute, if not near enough, every minute under Carlo Ancelotti, and every single game he seems to be getting better. He's so assured on the ball, he's great with his feet, he uses strength, defensively he's very, very good, he brings it out. And again, what we seen on Saturday wasn't just a fantastic, you know, Mason Holgate defensive performance, but we see Mason Holgate be able to adapt, coming to the last 15-20 minutes of the game. You know, at that point, like I said, it was 2-2, and it was very, very clear from Carlo Ancelotti that there was a want to go and win the game, there was a want to go and get that winner, but we also needed to make sure that we didn't, you know, leave ourselves open. We had 10 men, they were at home, they were the team that, you know, arguably had the momentum at that time in the game, so we needed to make sure that we didn't leave ourselves open. Michael Keane was brought on, and you know, Mason Holgate had to step up into the centre of midfield. And personally, for me, the games that we've seen Mason Holgate play in midfield this season have made me feel like we may be a little bit more beneficial playing him in the centre of midfield, especially considering, you know, some of the midfield performances we've seen from other players this season. We'll talk about the midfield in a little bit, because I think Gylfi Sigurdsson and Fabian Delph had another shocking game, the pair of them. But again, like I said, Mason Holgate asked to step up. Michael Keane come in, took his natural position at centre half, and Mason had to step up into the centre of that midfield. He had to come in next to Morgan Schneiderlin, and he literally looked like it was his natural position. He was using his strength, he was using his body, he was getting his foot on the ball, he was making some good passes. You know, he was playing it forward, he wasn't negative, he wasn't looking backwards, he wasn't worrying. He was so calm, he was so cool, he was so collected on the ball. And I think, again, that was a big reason as to why we managed to go on and get the win in that game, because we put a positive player in the centre of midfield. For me, you know, out of the 4 players that played in centre midfield on Saturday, Morgan Schneiderlin, Fabian Delph, Gylfi Sigurdsson, Mason Holgate, I think Mason Holgate's probably the most positive out of the 4 of them. And you know, that is a little bit worrying considering he's a centre defensive player, he's a centre back, you know, by trade. The fact that when he steps into centre midfield, he's the most positive centre midfielder is a little bit worrying. But regardless, you know, he stepped in, he done a fantastic job, he done what he needed to do. And again, like I said, another fantastic performance by Mason Holgate that you do sit there and you do admire week in, week out. And you know, the Echo reporting today, various other sources reporting today, Paul Joyce, that Everton look to we were going to start conversations with Mason Holgate over a new contract, and I think he absolutely deserves a new contract. The kid deserves a massive pay rise, and he deserves a massive contract, because like I said, ever since, you know, Duncan Ferguson stepped in as interim manager and give him that little bit of responsibility, give him that opportunity to come into the first team, give him that opportunity to, you know, yeah, you're going in there, Michael Keane hasn't been in good form, so you're going in, let's see what you can do. I think he's been absolutely fantastic since then, and like I said, has he missed a minute since Carlo Ancelotti's been in? I don't know, but every single game he's played, he seems to be getting better, and another fantastic performance by him, you know, on Saturday, as well as Yerry Mina, of course. Both centre-backs done fairly well, you know, defensively. I feel like the 2 goals, definitely the first goal come from the right hand side, Watford's first goal, Jabril Sidibe having to move up to sort of cover a man, and Theo Walcott was just in absolute no man's land. He just doesn't do the defensive work, does he? I don't want to go in too much on Theo Walcott, to be honest. If he wouldn't have scored the winner, you know, he'd be one of the 3 players that I'd be massively criticising today, but I don't really want to sit here and massively criticise him, because he did score the winner, and you know, at the end of the day, if it wasn't for him being in the right place at the right time, we wouldn't have won the game. But you know, he didn't have as great as the game, and like I said, that was a shocking moment in it for him. He completely left his man. I think it was Delph was left on his own. He cut it into the lad, and he fires a shot goalwards, and potentially Jordan Pickford's to blame as well for it. For me, I think the ball is hit near enough straight at Jordan Pickford's arm, and I think he could do a little bit better to get a hand on it. He doesn't. It goes in and it's 1-0, and it doesn't take Watford long to go and get the second again. Arguably an error from Jordan Pickford, however, it does stem from, Fabian Delph completely giving the ball away. Fabian Delph, a player that was meant to come in the summer and bring professionalism, bring that maturity, bring that experience, but he looks like he's bringing the absolute opposite, in immaturity and inexperience, a real inexperienced mistake in the centre of midfield. He gives it away, and again, arguably Jordan Pickford goes down a little bit earlier and could stand up, and if he does stand up, I think he saves it. But like I said, other than that, I think defensively as a centre-back partnership, I think the two of them done well. Before we go into talking about the performance overall, like I said, because it wasn't all butterflies, yes, it's fantastic that we won, yes, it's brilliant, yes, we're sitting here, we're all happy, we're all made up, we're sitting 9th in the Premier League, we're in and around the teams that we weren't necessarily in and around a few weeks ago. We're really fighting for those European positions. It wasn't the type of performance that would say we were dominant. I'm just going to tweet this team out, and then I'll get in the live comments as well. Let's see what you have to say about the game. Let me know your thoughts on the game as well as the result. Do you really care that it wasn't that great of a performance because we won at the end of the day? Who cares? Or were you a little bit concerned by the game despite the fact that we managed to get the 3 points? Did you still come away with it thinking, yeah, boss, we got the 3 points, amazing, but there's still things that very, very clearly need to be worked on, which I think is the feeling that a lot of Evertonians will have coming away from that game. If you're enjoying this team as well so far, please do hit that like button. It only takes a second. And if you're new to the channel as well, please do subscribe. 50 odd people in here, so big thanks to everybody for getting involved. Get this team shared to all your friends, all your family, your pets, your grandparents, your cousins, your Uncle Bob who lives on the street. Let's get everybody involved in discussing the game. Evertonian TV says, hello lads, hello mate, hope we're doing well. Wayne says, what's up Cam, how's life been treating you? Not too bad mate, not too bad. As you can tell, I've had an haircut on Saturday, so that was always positive. Mike says, alright mate, how's it going? I'm not too bad Mike, I hope you're doing well. Hernandez says, do you feel like Pickford could have done better with the first goal? How's it going? Cam all as well. I'm not too bad mate, I'm not too bad, I hope you're well. I think he could have potentially done better with both goals, to be honest with you, and that might be me being a little bit critical. I think we probably do need to stop the talks of Jordan Pickford being taken out of the team. Obviously, we've seen on Friday, transfer deadline day, which, nothing really happened other than Jonas Lersler going back to Huddersfield on loan. So now it's left us with just one senior goalkeeper other than Jordan Pickford, which obviously is Martin Stecklenberg, who we know I would literally rather have myself in goal than Martin Stecklenberg. So I think Jordan Pickford's going to be playing week in, week out. Now, personally, I don't know, maybe I'm being a little bit too critical. Maybe, the shot was fired at him at quite a pace, from quite close distance, and it maybe is a little bit critical to say that he could do better with that and the second goal. But I just feel like he potentially should have got a stronger hand on it. William says, great result, I agree. David says, 3 wins off safety, forget Europe for now. The typical Everton attitude, that, David. Wayne says, can't wait for the summer, have a feeling big changes. A lot of Josh contracts running out by then, exactly, spot on. Tom says, that's the spirit, David. David says, but still a lot left, Wayne. There is. Brad the lad says, hi mate, hope you're doing well. Wayne says, only fuck up was letting West Ham get Jared Bowen for peanuts. Yeah, potentially, but I think we need a lot more than Jared Bowen, although he is a good player. Dave says, Tom. Agent MT says, go on Cam, you okay? Here, as per usual, up the fucking toffees. Thank you very much, mate. I'm not too bad, mate. Hope you're doing well yourself. Underground says, imagine if Everton signed the Garlo, lol. I wouldn't have took him, to be honest with you. I don't think we need him. Brad the lad says, Everton versus Crystal Palace prediction. I'm going with 2-1. Maybe no, 3-1 Everton. I'm going with a positive good performance and a good win by Everton. David says, get safe, make sure the Red Side don't win it at Goodison, then go for Europe. Fair point. David says 3-1. William says, Camlad, how's everyone doing in the chat? I'm not too bad, mate. Bad lads, I'm a United fan, David, and I agree. It's 3-1 to Everton. Underground says, Everton's midfield was really bad. Yeah, that brings me on. I may as well talk about it now. Somebody's brought it up in the chat before we get back into the live comments. The midfield, I want to talk about the midfield because Carlo Ancelotti set up with a rather a team that I think confused some Evertonians and a team that I think maybe frustrated a few Evertonians. Obviously, we knew that Richarlison, Gylfi Sigurdsson and Alex Iwobi had returned to fitness. We knew that on Friday when he had his pre-game press conference. I don't think we quite thought that the three of them would be involved in the matchday squad. Certainly not Gylfi Sigurdsson, because I don't think he deserves to be in there. However, the three of them were Moise Kean dropping to the bench, obviously, and Richarlison coming back up front, which was something that I think we probably felt like would happen, but we didn't want to happen. We all sort of wanted, Richarlison to sort of go out on the wing and maybe replace Walcott, and Kean keep his place up front, because I thought Moise Kean, like I said, was fantastic against Newcastle, and I thought he's done okay when he come on Saturday as well. But obviously, Gylfi Sigurdsson coming back into the team as well for Morgan Schneider, and Fabian Delph keeping his place, and Alex Iwobi coming in for Bernard as well. Again, taking Moise Kean and Bernard out the team, I think it was a big decision. It was possibly quite harsh on those two players. Now, I dare say Carlo Ancelotti had a conversation with both players before the decision and before the game, and explained the decision to them. But, like I said, I obviously 100% wanted Richarlison back in there, because I think he's our most creative player, and a player that we massively missed whilst he wasn't in the squad. Again, I was relatively happy to see Alex Iwobi in there. He's been out for a few weeks now with quite a sore injury, and he did need the minutes, to be fair to him, and although he didn't have his greatest performance, the minutes done him well. But I was quite baffled at the fact that Gylfi Sigurdsson had come back into the team, especially considering I think Morgan Schneiderlin played quite well against Newcastle, to be fair to him. I know he's not a fan favourite, I know some people mightn't like me saying that, but I thought Morgan Schneiderlin done okay, to be fair, against Newcastle, and Fabian Delph done okay as well, and I don't think there was any real need to bring Gylfi Sigurdsson back into the team. He's had a shocking season so far. He's done very little to impact the team. He's done very little to impact results or performances. And it's not like there was nobody else that could go in there. For me personally, I would have rather had Morgan Schneiderlin in there. I would have rather had Alex Iwobi in centre midfield role. I would have probably rather have had Tom Davies in there than Gylfi Sigurdsson, because I just think Gylfi Sigurdsson doesn't offer you a lot whatsoever. So we had a midfield of Alex Iwobi on one wing, Richarlison on the other, Gylfi Sigurdsson and Fabian Delph at centre midfield. Now, I already had issues with that, and I said it before the game. I said when the team was leaked, I 100% trust Carlo Ancelotti in every decision he makes. He's the manager that's won near enough every single trophy they can win as a manager. I'm a lad that sits here wearing an Everton shirt a few times a week and talks about Everton, so I know fuck all in comparison really to Carlo Ancelotti. So I said before the game, I 100% trust every decision that Carlo Ancelotti makes. He made that decision, he put that forward in midfield, and I just looked at that forward and I thought, right, okay, let's just dissect it player by player. I thought, right, okay, Alex Iwobi on the left. Whilst, yes, I'm happy that he's back in the team and he's getting minutes and it's exciting and it'd be good to see him again, I'm not really happy with him being on the left-hand side. I would prefer him to have more of a central role. I think he does a lot better in a central role, but quite similarly to Bernard, really. I think he's more beneficial playing through the middle. Gylfi Sigurdsson in centre midfield, absolute no whatsoever. I don't think there was a need to bring Morgan Schneiderlin out. Thought he played well against Newcastle. Thought he done okay when he come on Saturday as well. Fabian Delph, okay, I can see it, didn't do too bad against Newcastle, and in reality, realistically, you don't want to see Schneiderlin and Sigurdsson in the same team, because it's a recipe for disaster. So Fabian Delph's the only other one, and Theo Walcott on the right hand side, which again was another one that I thought, similarly to Gylfi Sigurdsson, he's done very little this season. Again, I'm speaking obviously before the game. I'm speaking when the team news was released, at 2 o'clock when we all found out who was playing. Again, I was thinking Theo Walcott's done very little this season, not being involved in a goal, not scored a goal this season, continuously is being played. And yes, okay, he has his patches in games of football, a couple of minutes here, a couple of minutes there, but overall, I'd probably rather have had Moise Kean in there and Richarlison on the wing. So, I looked at that forward in midfield, and certainly the first 25-30 minutes, I can't lie, I'm not going to sit here and say, we won the game, it was not a good performance, but we won the game, so whatever. The first 20 minutes, I thought the midfield was dreadful. Again, Gylfi Sigurdsson and Fabian Delph doing nothing to deserve their place with an Everton shirt. Very similar to Theo Walcott. Iwobi doing okay. I thought on the ball, he could have been a little bit better, but to be fair to the lad, he's only just come back from injury. He got a lot of, he got some needed minutes. And like I said, he actually put in a really good ball across the box within the first couple of minutes that I think Richarlison should have done a little bit better with. But certainly, the rest of them, Gylfi Sigurdsson, Fabian Delph, and Theo Walcott, I felt like had a real poor first half. Now, obviously, when you're looking, when you think about the second half, when you sit back and you review the game and we talk about the game in hindsight, I'm like I said before, I'm not really going to go too much into into Theo Walcott, because at the end of the day he got the winner, and that's all that matters, to be perfectly honest with you. But the other two, I think again had real poor games. Gylfi Sigurdsson, for me, I just don't see a world in which he should be playing week in, week out for Everton Football Club. Certainly not a world where he should be the captain of Everton Football Club. Again, done a lot of pointing, done a little bit of running around, but on the ball he was poor. Didn't really want to get involved, didn't really look to get involved either for the majority of the game. Obviously, Fabian Delph ultimately got sent off in the game. One real stupid challenge. Into the second half, where the ball had got away from him and he made a rash challenge, which we always knew was going to be a yellow card. And finally, the red card decision, which ultimately changed the game, didn't it, really? Obviously, we went on and got the win, but it changed, I think, how Carlo Ancelotti approached the game, maybe for the better. Obviously throwing himself into a tackle, which I actually don't think is a yellow card. I think arguably it's not a foul, to be honest with you. It's definitely not a yellow card, but at the end of the day, when you're flying in that position on the football, but you didn't need to make the tackle there. The lad was facing towards, the byline. It was only one way he could have gone, and that's, towards our goal. He'd have ran it out if he'd have went that way. And Fabian Delph just throws himself into a challenge that he doesn't need to make, knowing full well the level of the Premier League officials and the Premier League referees, knowing full well that the referees and the officials in this league are absolute dross, and that they would obviously give a second yellow card for that. I just think, it was quite immature from Delph, and like I said, I don't want to go too far, much into him. I don't want to start ripping him to bits, but I was massively disappointed, because Fabian Delph was a player that was supposed to bring professionalism, supposed to bring experience. He was supposed to bring that level head in the summer, that leadership that we were massively lacking. Fabian Delph was the player that was supposed to be telling players who were making that sort of challenge on the pitch to not make that challenge. Telling players, you're on a yellow card, he's going nowhere, you don't need to dive in. Yeah, he's making those type of challenges. So I was quite, upset with Fabian Delph on Saturday. I thought he made a little bit of a tit of himself, really. Didn't need to make the challenge. Well, whether it was a yellow card or not, he didn't need to fly in at that position, and he didn't do us any favours, obviously. And other than that, I thought in the game overall, obviously he made the mistake to concede the second goal, and he didn't really do an awful lot else, to be perfectly honest with you. Similar to Gylfi Sigurdsson, I thought when Morgan Schneiderlin come on, he performed better in the 20 minutes that he had than Gylfi Sigurdsson performed in the 60-70 minutes that he had. And like I said, I just felt like that midfield was a little bit, probably not the midfield I'd have chosen, but it's Carlo Ancelotti, and like I said before, he's a manager that's won near enough everything you can win in club football as a manager, and obviously knows an awful lot more about football than little old me who sits here talking to you guys on Steam about. So I trusted it, and I trusted the plan, and I trusted the process, and ultimately, it worked overall. He took the players off he needs to take off. Fabian Delph's red card allowed, him to be able to push Mason Holgate into the centre of midfield and have Michael Keane come on as a centre back, and ultimately it worked, and we went on and we got the win. So you do sit back and you think, well, ultimately it worked, but realistically, I think if we were to start the Crystal Palace game, being perfectly honest with you, with Gylfi Sigurdsson in the centre of midfield, obviously Fabian Delph won't be there because he's suspended, and Alex Iwobi on the left, I'd probably be a little bit upset. But there you go. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here, and some people might be a little bit annoyed that I've maybe spoke a little bit negatively, but I wasn't going to sit here and talk about the game and review the game as if it was a perfect performance and it was fantastic. Yes, it was amazing, I'm ecstatic, and I don't really care now about the performance because we got the win. But if we're going to talk about the performance, if we're going to delve into it, it wasn't a great game of football. It was a poor performance by Everton. Carlo Ancelotti saying himself that we probably didn't even deserve to be level at half-time because of how poor the second half was. I think the first half was, I think the second half was a lot better. Especially the first 10, 15, 20 minutes of the second half, we looked the much better team until we got the sending off. Then we naturally had to calm down, which you sort of understand. And then obviously we went on and got the winner. If you're enjoying the team, by the way, so far, please do hit that like button. It only takes a second. And if you're new to them, if you're new to the channel as well, please do subscribe. Let's get back into the live comments then. I can see there's a couple of Liverpool fans in here. You're literally about... Not Chris, that doesn't include Chris. I can see there's a couple of different Liverpool fans here. You're literally about to win the league. What? Why are you here? Where are we? Mike says you need a green screen cam. I've actually got one, but I just haven't set it up properly yet. It's a little bit of a pain in the arse to set up with me. Basically, my room's being set up differently to what it used to be. So it's a little bit of a pain to set up the lights that are required for the green screen, but I am working on getting a green screen that sort of just folds up and folds down, and lights that clip onto a desk as well, but they're quite pricey, so it's definitely being worked on. Where are we? Tom says, wonder if Gabama will be a decent player after a whole season of injuries. You know, it does worry me, obviously, because it's never nice to see a player. You know, Gabama wasn't a player that, you know, had a history of injuries before he signed for Everton. That's what Everton do to you. But, you know, it is really, really sad. It's disappointing and it's not fantastic to see. Obviously, Gabama suffering another setback last week. But, you know, we can only wish him the best in his recovery and be there for him 100% through it. And hopefully he comes back and, you know, he is a genuinely good player. William says, to be fair, Dave, it will be pretty irrelevant since they have clearly already won, and anyway, I believe they will mathematically win it at the Etihad. Don't really care about Liverpool. David says, midfield didn't turn up. I agree. Wayne says, what's your real name? Chris says, hi pal, hope you're well. I'm not too bad, Chris, hope you're doing well. William says, midfield did turn up, just like Casper the Friendly Ghost. Paul says, don't hex us, Cam. Toffee TV do it all the time. Don't know what hex us means, if I'm being honest with you. Whammy says, how you doing, mate? David says, Whammy, that would be get brought up in every conversation. Wait just for my life. Andy says, the result really cheered me up at the weekend. Being in hospital with my daughter all week, she had a mysterious pain in her stomach. The team at the weekend played like when Moyes was manager, fought to the end. I hope she's alright, mate. And yeah, exactly, like I said, it wasn't the greatest performance by any stretch of the imagination, but like I said at the start of the season, when was the last time you take away the fact that we had 10 men, take away the fact that we were away from home, take away the fact that we come, you know, from 2 goals behind to win a game? When was the last time you seen Everton go and, you know, an Everton player busters absolute arse in the 91st minute of a game of football to break down the line to go and get the winner? A lot of Everton teams under previous managers at that point, when Richarlison got that ball, would have gone, go to the corner, try and win a foul. You've got 10 men, you know, you're drawing, you've come back from 2-0 down, you're away from home, settle down and just take the draw. Not Carlo Ancelotti's Everton. He said to those lads, he said to Richarlison, you bust your bollocks down that byline and you get that winner. The ball comes across. Moise Keane, I'm still going to say passes it, although it's probably a scuff shot, let's be honest. A scuff shot. And Theo Walcott, to be fair to him, is in the right place at the right time. Everton TV says, awful performance, remarkable result. Couldn't disagree with you more, mate. Couldn't agree with you more, mate, sorry. Can't disagree with that, I meant to say. Chris says, well done in your win, mate. Thank you very much. Underground Hub says, to be honest, don't really want Delph to start. Thought Bernard would have been better because there wasn't a playmaker. I agree. Different positions, obviously. Wayne says, Holgate being a better being player of the season by a mile so far. I can't really disagree with it, mate, to be honest with you. David says, nice one, Chris. William says, hit the like, guys. Yeah, if you could hit the like button, it mean a massive amount to me. Everton TV says, just want to know your opinion. Would you ever take Delph from Watford to Everton? We've had him twice. I think that ship sailed, to be honest with you, mate. Don't get me wrong. I think arguably he could do, you know, better than some of the wingers that we've got at the minute. But I think in his 2 spells at Everton, for me, he was a player that played in patches. Very inconsistent player. And although I like him and I've got nothing really against him, I just don't think he's the level that we need, to be honest. He's probably at his level at the minute, if I'm being respectful and honest. Underground says, Holgate's header led to the last goal. Wayne says, I think Holgate has come on, really good player for us, but Richarlison is pretty good. I agree. Everton interview says, well done, Chris. Hernandez says, give Mason a real contract and keep him long term. He's been fantastic all season. I agree, spot on. Wayne says, think Mason's header was the straw hub. Underground says, Sigurdsson wasn't too bad, got an assist and put a run in. I just think, I don't know. He did get an assist, obviously, from a cross, which if he was going to get an assist from anything, it would be. I don't know. I just, maybe my expectations too high for Gylfi Sigurdsson. I just don't think he's performed at the level he should have been performing at this season, at any point this season, to be honest with you. And I just definitely think we're in need of a creative midfielder. Midget says, how many points do City have to drop for the title to be lifted at Goodison? I think they only have to lose 1 more game and Liverpool win every game. But I don't think it'd be lifted at Goodison. I don't think they actually present the title until the last home game, if I'm right in saying that. I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'm just focusing on Everton, to be honest, because I'm just all as I'm caring about is Everton. Everton Division Hernandez report suggests Everton wants Holgate to sign a new contract. They do. Remy says, Sigurdsson put the balls in for Yeri's goal, but we can't afford to carry a midfielder for 90 minutes because outside dead balls Sigurdsson offers us little to nothing. Fair point. It says 4th, maybe step too far, but Chelsea is so inconsistent. 4th is up for grabs for anybody. Like I said, I'm not saying that we could get 4th. I'm not saying that we'll fight for 4th, but I definitely think 5th is very, very realistic, and 6th and 7th are where we should be aiming. As Everton TV says 5th at best, and Wayne says 7th. Wayne says, think Dean could probably put the balls in. Possibly. Mitchell says, Lampard's a poor manager, media rubs off because he's playing young English talent. He's nowhere near good enough for that Chelsea job. Maybe, potentially. CJ says, mad how the mentality has changed. Just don't give up anymore once we go behind or concede. Exactly, and like I said before, it rings volumes. Everton had never come back from any type of, whether it be 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. Everton had never come back, not once under Marco Silva, to win a game after being behind by 1-0 or by any deficit under Marco Silva in the Premier League. Now, what that meant is that Everton could start a game of football and within 5 minutes concede a goal, whether it be at Goodison Park, whether it be away from home, concede a goal that merely has come from players not concentrating or a mistake or a foul that a referee should have given. And we always knew under Marco Silva that as soon as we conceded that first goal, it was done, because we don't come back to win football matches. However, now under Carlo Ancelotti, we've broke that again. We speak about the Merseyside derby every time it comes, about, and we speak about how it may just be a mentality thing and the fact that we can't mentally get over that hurdle of Liverpool Football Club or Liverpool at Anfield. But this was a massive, massive mentality. This was a massive, massive mentality thing. Coming up from behind to win a game of football was something that the players obviously had playing on their minds every single time they went from behind. Now that we've just smashed that out the park, now hopefully we don't have that issue again. Hopefully the next time we go 1-0 down stupidly in the first 20 minutes of a game because we haven't been concentrating, we can just pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off and go and win that game comfortably. Not saying that we won the game comfortably on Saturday, but we got the win, which is all that matters at the end of the day. David says Walcott still needs to go, no end product. I think we need a better right midfielder, if we're being honest with you. Even though he scored the goal, so I'm not going to go too far into Walcott. Decent finish from a tough angle, so fair play to Walcott. If you're enjoying the stream, by the way, hit the like button. Does mean a massive amount to me, and subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. Wormy says, I'm going 8th or 9th due to the Kabam situation. Maybe if we had come back and done well, we would have had the chance to do better. Maybe. We've had a lot of injuries this season as well that we have to think about. Joseph Sign defender and put Holgate in midfield. Wouldn't mind seeing that whatsoever. Wayne says Walker should get rear. Wayne says hit the like, guys, and Cam will get in the comments. I'm in the comments, mate. Mitch says it's right, Spoony. Chris says who cares? Didn't play well, you still won. That's my attitude, exactly. Jared says Holgate will save us millions. By centre half, 6th to 5th. Defo for 4th. Grabs, I agree, definitely will save us millions. Evertonian TV says it's about consistency and mentality. Win against Crystal Palace. We're in a good situation. We definitely are. JB says, Cam, what does Bernard have to do to start a match? And how will this play out in relation to the next game? I think Bernard will play against Crystal Palace. I think he'll start against Crystal Palace. In regards to how the results will play out, I think it gives us a massive, massive confidence boost going into that game. I think it allows the players to, again, like I said, understand that we can come from behind to win a game of football. We don't have to let our heads drop. We don't have to think. We don't have to have a defeatist attitude. Again, like I said, even if we'd have just come back from behind to win that game, you'd think, right, okay, we've come back from behind. That's a fantastic step. That's a massive positive step to the football club. Not only that, we come from being 10 men, so we've won a game having 10 men, which again is another massive step. Doing it away from home, which is another massive step. It's almost like everything sort of collected into one massive, massive thing on Saturday, and we just smashed it out the park. And I think and I hope and I pray that has a massive, massive positive effect on the mentality of this football club and this team. I've just answered that one. David says, I think 6th, as long as we stay 4-4-2, allows us to bypass the midfield, potentially until we can bring in, a couple of midfielders in the summer. Everton TV says, JP, I'm shocked that Iwobi and Walker can start over Bernard. Underground Hub says the second goal was way too hard for Pickford one-on-one. Maybe, fair enough. David says, scored that Evertonian. Wayne says, a new haircut makes you feel like a new person and fresh, mate. Looks good to see. Still needs a bandana combo. It's just a general haircut, innit? Do you like it? Do you not like it? JB says, I agree, mate. Wood, but it will be in CM and Bernard left mid. I agree with that one. Gareth says, Walcott was awful all game, but hopefully gets confidence after that. Yeah, I agree. But about Pickford with them 2 goals, still needs a better keeper in the summer. Exactly. Walcott wasn't great, but we've just got to hope that goal will give him a lot of confidence going forward. And I suppose we'll see if he's got that confidence if he starts on Saturday. And Carlo Ancelotti has that faith in him. Everton's if his pick wasn't at fault against Watford, it was just poor defending first half. Potentially, a midget says haircuts are like cheap therapy, like come out the barbers bouncing. Exactly, you do. And I come out the barbers on Saturday and I thought, you know what? Belted this. Proper, decent haircut, let's go. Everton win, and then we were 2-0 down in 20 minutes, and I thought, bollocks, obviously Everton let me down again. But they didn't. At the end of the day, they didn't. And we went on and we got the win, and that's all that matters, isn't it? That's all that matters. Loads of comments in the live comments, so we'll get back into them in just a second. But anyway, like I said, it wasn't the greatest performance. The first half performance was really poor. I thought the midfield was poor, to be honest, for the majority of the game. Obviously, Theo Walcott being part of that midfield got the winning goal, like I said, so fair play to Theo. It wasn't, it wasn't the hardest finish, let's be perfectly honest, but it was a good finish. It was a tight angle and it was a tough ball to get into the back of the net from that position, so done really well. Like I said about Alex Iwobi, he got his minutes and he possibly needed those minutes, obviously coming back from a quite a tough injury, and it is about mentality and it is about attitude. We give away 2 sloppy goals on Saturday, and 2 goals that we could have quite easily avoided. The first goal defensively is poor in terms of the right hand side. The lad's left absolutely on his own, could have been sacked down. Theo Walcott should have got over quick enough. Even Sidibe, if he'd have had a little look over his shoulder, he'd have thought, shit, I need to mark this fella because nobody else is going to win. He's absolutely free. And even the second goal, again, coming from a stupid mistake in midfield, a mistake that, we didn't need to make. We could have cleared it, we could have put our foot on the ball, but we didn't. We panicked. Fabian Delph just threw a foot at it, goes straight to their man, he passes it on, and Watford scored the second. But, if there was at any point where you felt, as an Evertonian, that we weren't going to get it back into the game, it was after that second goal went in, and the fact that not only did we manage to get back into the game, the fact that we done it with 10 men, and the fact that we won the game ultimately is very special, and I think it bodes well going forward, obviously. And at the end of the day, we all sat here in the preview and we said about how important it is to get the 3 points. We got the 3 points, whether we done it well, whether we done it nicely, whether we done it in the last 5 minutes, whether we done it in the last 30 seconds, it doesn't matter. Like I said, you won't see a team ever in the world that'll win every single game comfortably, 10 out of 10 performance every week. Even them lot this season who are sitting first, there's been games this season where they've been absolutely fucking dreadful, but they've managed to win by scoring a goal in the last 2 minutes, because that's that mentality that you need, that never give up mentality, and that mentality that even if we're not on our game, we're still going to go and win this game. And that was similar to Everton's on Saturday, and hopefully we can take that into Crystal Palace and go and get the 3 points. And like I said, if we do get the 3 points, then we are looking at the likes of Arsenal, we're looking at the likes of Chelsea, we're looking at the likes of Manchester United, maybe not so much Chelsea, but definitely Arsenal, Manchester United, Tottenham, Crystal Palace, Sheffield United, Wolves, and we're looking for those teams to drop points exactly like were this weekend. Chris says, Everton 2, Crystal Palace 1, my prediction. Wim says, great, we got the 3 points, but it's the same squad, we can see old problems still there. Why again did we perform well against Newcastle? Exactly, it's that inconsistency. But considering, for me, like I said, other than the fact that we can fight for a European place and we can fight for a potential place in the Europa League, and like I said, I'm not going to go as far as to say the Champions League, but the fact that we can fight for a potential place in the Europa League, whilst in a season where it's basically over. Other than that, we've got no cup competition to play in. We've spent the large majority of the season under a mediocre manager that was never going to be able to take us forward. We've now got a fantastic world-class manager that's managing a squad of players that, let's be honest, aren't going to blow anybody's skirts off. Okay, there's 5 or 6 players in that team that you'd say are good enough to play, consistently in a European competition and challenge for the Champions League, but there are a lot of players in that team that shouldn't be anywhere near the team fighting for the Champions League. And Carlo Ancelotti's going to have to address those issues with Marcel Brands in the summer. But considering we're getting wins like this, and we're being able to pick ourselves up from situations like being 2-0 down, from situations like having 10 men, and win games of football with the same squad that Marco Silva couldn't motivate to pick themselves up from being beaten 1-0 at Goodison Park to win. It shows just the effect that Carlo Ancelotti's having on this team so far. Remy also says, but then as we showed up against Watford and played poorly, team still very inconsistent. Couldn't agree more. Sonny says, I'm going the game on Saturday and can't wait, buzzing about the result on Saturday. Me too. Underground taking the piss there. Remy says, hopefully with time, still a massive list of people to go. That's going to be a more disruption. I have faith, but it's going to be a rough ride for a bit. It is. Chris says, I hope VAR and our refs are gone at the end of the season because both aren't going now, unfortunately. VAR's been a shambles on it this season, an absolute shambles. Mitchell says, if Everton was to commission a new statue for Bramley Moore, who would you have? Who would I have if Everton was to commission a new statue for Bramley Moore? Ooh. That's a tough one, that, isn't it? That's a tough one. Obviously, we've got the Holy Trinity outside the Goodison Park as well as Dixie Dean. That's a tough one, that. That really, really is a tough one. Leave that with me, and I'll come back to you. Neville Southall. Leave that with me. Neville Southall's probably a good shout, to be honest with you. But a very, very good question. Mitchell, leave your answers to that question in the comment section down below. Underground says most probably Dixie Dean. I'm assuming that Dixie Dean and the Holy Trinity statues will be moved. If not, then Dixie Dean. Or David says, even if we win the league next season, Wimmy says Duncan statue will freak him out getting to work if it came every day. Exactly. Wimmy says, if the like Blues, please support the Mighty Blues channel. If you could, that'd mean a massive amount to me if you could hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe to the channel as well. David says, hugging a boy for me. Joseph says, what's your opinion on the Europa League? I would love to be in the Europa League as long as we don't finish 7th and end up playing the Europa League qualifiers where you'd have to start playing competitive games in like July. If we finish 6th or 5th and we go straight into the group stage, then yeah, I'll play in it. It's a European competition, it attracts players, but we're playing under, you know, one of, if not Europe's greatest manager in terms of his accolades. So yeah, I 100% want to be in that competition unless we finished 7th, and then I'll probably say maybe it's not, you know, unless we massively invest in the squad, maybe it's not the best thing. Wimmy says, Dave, imagine arriving at work and the first thing you see is a big statue of yourself hugging a ball boy. Just Liverpool fans there. Again, Mitchell says, keyboard Woody Lavid says, sorry I'm late, but as for Europe, Europa sadly not. More clinical and more consistent is needed. Look at Wolves, their attacking defenders as a team, total unison, potentially. Maybe said we will get it, is the standard, God. Be more specific. Spoon's bent over backwards here to get a blue spanner. Maybe says really best we're not gonna get into the discussion. Chris says, how many Everton players should get in the England Euro 2020 squad? I'll tell you now that Mason Holgate should be starting every week for England. For me, England's best young centre half, if not best centre half. To be honest with you, he shits all over Harry Maguire. I don't care what anybody says. Dominic Calvert-Lewin should definitely be in there. Obviously, Jordan Pickford's going to be in there. Michael Keane maybe in there as well. But I'm not just going to say 2, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Mason Holgate definitely deserve to be in there. But if they don't go, then it means, you know, they stay fit. It means they're back home. I'm not going to say I don't want them to go because I think that's unfair on the players. But, you know, I'm not the biggest England fan. Wimmy says, no one gets a spanner here. I don't know if I'm qualified. Wimmy says, I quite yes. Midget says, Ancelotti's keen on a new spine apparently, so I'd expect at least 3 key signings in the summer. Me too. Just says, hi, I'm good, thanks, how are you? Tuesdays, Delaney says, Everton actually won a game. Wimmy says, I agree with Chris. God says, would you take Gylfi? Who would take Gylfi's spot in the midfield, do you think, Cam? Well, if we brought somebody in, listen, I'm going to say a name here that's probably not going to come to Everton, but I would absolutely love him to come to Everton. Jack Grealish. How amazing would it be to have Jack Grealish at Everton? But I'd love to see that. Wayne says Holgate and DCL outside shout. They should definitely be in there. Mitchell says Pickford's number 1, exactly. Wayne says we haven't signed them yet. Wayne said, do you ever work out, mate, or go to the gym? I was a lot like your build-wise, just do weights when you get bored. Yeah, I do. I haven't been for a few days, to be honest with you. I've got a little bit of a scab on my chin, which is infectious, so I can't go. But I do go to the gym, and I do tend to do weights as well, because that's basically, I just think, fuck it, we'll do weights. Chris says Pickford will get in still, in my opinion. I agree with this outside shouts, exactly. Sai Salim says, wouldn't swap Holgate for Zoom, and it's funny how things work out, future captain. Exactly, it is funny how things work out. Chris says, I'm great, thanks Cam, glad to hear you're good too. David says, lovely pass by Keane. William says, did anyone get onto Moise Keane at the end of the Watford game doing an impressive of Neo from the Matrix when all the Smiths had signed a jump on him? I didn't see it, mate, I'll have to look at that. Underground says, what do you think of Anthony Evans leaving? Showed quality for the under-23s. Yeah, it's sad and it's not great, but you know, players, you know, want to leave, don't they? And sort of players want to leave and further their career, so you can't really blame him. He probably wasn't going to get his opportunity, was he? Lavin says, let's not forget the interception from Keane that released Richarlison. Exactly. Max said, do you think that Keane meant that pass to Walcott? Every single bone in my body wants to say yes, but every time I look at it, I think, does he just scuff a shot? But I'm going to say, yeah, fuck it. Why not? Yeah. William says, we should have signed Eduardo Canavigo. Reece says, would you take Cavani on loan, potentially? I think he's quite old now. He's a player that's played under Ancelotti before. I don't know. I don't know whether his attitude would suit Everton either. Where he says, hit the like, peeps, support the channel. When we get a blue spanner. Joseph's prediction for Palace, 3-1. I'm going to Everton. Where he says, Max over 30. Moyes had to go with his left foot and probably not confident weak foot. So he goes for the far corner, knowing if he fluffs it, Walcott is there for the tap-in. If he does, then that's absolute genius. Battle Flips Tech says 2-0 Everton. Chris says, I have to go, lads. Take care, great channel and great chat. Thank you very much, Chris. Nice one, mate. William says, I base this on the fact that at the start of that move, he is very clever the way he reads the Watford players, then gets the toe to set Richarlison away. Fair point. I think it's a fair 30, to be honest with you. Wayne says, Palace will beat us. Tossen will score at Atta. He can't play, mate. He can't play. William says, hey guys, what the Blues fans do. And he also said, take care, guys. Wayne says, what music do you like, Cam? I know Narshite was hoping he stayed fit so we could get rid. Yeah, he's injured. I like all types of music, to be honest, but hip-hop mostly. Wayne says, I reckon Cam is a dubstepper. Dave says, feels good to be a Blue for the change. It does. Everton TV says, love supporting the Blues. Wayne says, nope, Wayne. The only one we managed to ship out. Crocked himself 2 games in. David says, 1 defeat in 10 league games. Exactly. Wayne says, I reckon if Walcott can play on a pro football pitch, I can be a Blue spanner. Ian says, Tossen only on loan, isn't he? Can't play against us even if he was fit. Exactly. Wayne says, never self all day. Postman says, please don't question Carlo, Cam. Whatever. I'm literally not questioning Carlo Ancelotti. I said in that entire speech, I wasn't questioning Carlo Ancelotti, but whatever. Wayne says, great minds think alike. Ian says, we had players before on loan who couldn't play against their club in the league. Maybe rule change. He can't play. He can't play against us even if he was fit. Stoll says, we've got potential to be a very good team in a few years. Holgate, Don, Davis, Keane, Gordon, Charles, all young and hungry, and seem very together. Things look very good. It's going to take a few years. I agree. Wayne says, kind of sad. Peeps only get remembered when they've passed. On should be remembered them now. Exactly. Max says, do you think he meant the flick to Walcott? I hope so. Lavin says, Reed, new status, Hickson, Alex Young. Wayne says, Grealish might come if Villa go down. He might do. Wayne says, is there a show on Wednesday night, Cam? There is. There will be a show on Wednesday night. We'll be live at 6:15. We won't be. We'll be live at 5:30 on Wednesday, talking about Everton news. So don't forget to join us then. Lavin says, Kevin Radcliffe. Wayne says, I can't agree, Wayne, but I think the whole status thing makes people comfortable. Yeah, potentially. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today's live team. Like I said, a big win for Everton. Not the best performance, not the greatest performance, but arguably the greatest result that we could have got in that situation. Coming back from 2-0 down, away from home with 10 men, to score in the last seconds of the game to win the game 3-2. Doesn't get much better than that, does it? If you have enjoyed this team so far, please do hit that like button. It only takes a second. A big thanks to everybody for getting involved in the live comments as per usual. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. It only takes a second. If you're watching as a YouTube video, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll get into as many of them as possible. If you, like I said, if you're new, please do subscribe. Leave a like on the video if you have enjoyed. Big win for Everton on Saturday. Let's hope that we can go on and continue the run of form next Saturday against Crystal Palace. Go out there, put in a positive performance. Let's hope it's a better performance and go out there and get the 3 points. And that leaves us in real good stead looking towards a possible Europa League place. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. Max says, Richarlison or DCL. Lavin says, perhaps the club could have a fan statue. Wayne says, maybe. And Wayne says, take care, everybody. Have a good one. See you next time. Thank you very much. See you next time. Big thanks for watching. Please do hit that like button if you have enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Don't forget, me and my girlfriend will be completing the Goodison Park sleep out on the 6th of March, raising money for young people that are at risk of becoming homeless. Both links to our Just Giving pages are in the description. If you can spare absolutely any pennies whatsoever, would both be greatly appreciative. Only takes a second to click on it and donate as well. Check out the links in the description, like I said. We'll be vlogging that as well. We'll be doing a video, so that'll be out just after the sleep out, so look out for that one. That's going to do it today. Wayne says, respect, Cam. Everyone have a boss night. Stay safe. Thank you very much, Wayne. You too. And David says, nice one, Cam. Nice one, David. Thank you very much for getting involved. Big thanks for watching. Please leave a like if you have enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you on Wednesday at 5:30 for another live team. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.